3, 2, 1.
Ready. Okay. Philip Davies MP for Shipley. You've just met with the Bradford Chamber's President, Vice President and Chief Executive. Can you tell us briefly what you discussed?
We basically discussed everything relevant to economic success and business success across the Bradford district, really, what things needed to be done, the Heseltine review that's been done to try and help move businesses forward and get better investment into cities and districts. But really it was just an opportunity for me to find out from people who are actually at the chalk face of running businesses exactly what the government should be doing, what the council should be doing to help move economic activity forward in the district.
Good, good.
Can I just interrupt? Okay.
So was the meeting useful, and if so, how?
Yeah, it's really useful. It's useful for me because the people who know best about anything are the people who are doing it every day of their lives. So in terms of what's affecting businesses, the people to ask are people who are actually closest to the businesses, people running their own businesses, people who are speaking to them every day. So I can come along here and find out exactly what the issues are, whether it's the banks, whether it's government regulation, whatever it is that's holding businesses back. So I can take that back down to Westminster and make sure the government minister's aware of it. So it's always useful.
Good, thank you. As I said at the outset, you represent Shipley. Can you tell us what the most pressing issues are in your constituency at present, especially if possible to do with business and the economy?
Probably the biggest problem in terms of economic activity in people's day-to-day lives is congestion, to be perfectly honest, and whether it's getting from Baildon to Shipley, through Saltaire, transport gridlock is a massive issue which costs businesses money. It deters people from locating their business in Airedale and my part of the world. So if there was one thing that I could sort out which I think would help economic activity across my constituency, it would be sorting out the congestion, particularly on the roads.
Moving on to wider topics, immigration is something that divides many commentators, including business people. Some worry about the additional pressure on public services like health, while others would welcome the bigger labour market and quite often stronger work ethic perceived in some foreigners. What's your view, Philip?
My view is that we've had far too much immigration in recent years, unsustainable levels of immigration, and it not only causes tension in communities and is bad for community cohesion, but it does put a massive amount of pressure on public services, whether it's the health service, schools, providing housing, all of those things. It creates so many tensions, and we just can't. So we're a small island. We can't take as many people as we have been taking. So some level of immigration is good. Immigration in itself isn't a bad thing. America has built its wealth on buying in the best talent from around the world, and we want to attract people here who will create wealth, create jobs, employ people, bring skills that we don't have. That's all good. We just can't sustain the numbers of people that we've been trying to bring in over the recent years, and we've got to get a grip of those numbers. So limited immigration with people who bring something to the country that we don't have, yes. Mass immigration that we've seen in recent years, absolutely no.
A recent change affecting bigger firms that will eventually impact on small ones is that of pensions and automatic enrolment for staff. Are you aware that we at the Chamber are concerned about the additional burden that auto enrolment could place on small firms? And if so, what do you think can be done about it?
Yes, I am aware, and that's one of the things we've discussed today actually. And I understand it's a difficult time to bring things like this in, because if you're a business that's struggling, we've had a bad recession, we're still struggling to get economic growth. The last thing you want is to build in additional costs and expenditure that you can ill afford, and so I understand how difficult that is for businesses to bring it in and put more money into people's pensions and things like that. Equally, it's difficult for employees to put more money into their pensions at the moment, because we're all struggling, you know, in terms of costs, and people's incomes aren't going up, but their costs are going up. So it is a difficult time. I mean, I will take that back to the ministers and actually say, is there any way that we can do this differently, defer it, bring it in later for smaller businesses? There's in some respects, there's never a good time to do things like this, but I do understand how difficult it is at the moment to put this extra burden on particularly smaller businesses at a time when many are struggling. So I do understand that.
Okay. Philip Davies MP for Shipley, thanks for coming into the chamber today and thanks for answering our questions.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.